Hi, I'm Holly. I help women who feel lost, numb, or stuck come home to themselves. Women who know deep down that life is supposed to feel better than this. Here we explore how to stop abandoning yourself, how to rebuild trust with your life, and how to create the inner connection you've been craving. We talk about real healing, not perfection, not fixing yourself, but reclaiming your joy, your aliveness, your truth. Today's video is all about releasing the pressure to get it right, because you are worthy of so much more than just surviving. So let's drop in together. What if I told you you can't do this wrong? Not healing, not parenting, not figuring out your next step. I know that pressure. The voice that says, what if I'm making the wrong choice? What if I mess everything up? But I want you to hear this today in your bones. You literally cannot get it wrong. Not if you're choosing from truth. Not if you're staying with yourself. One of the biggest decisions I ever made was leaving the relationship with my son's dad. And at the time, I truly thought I might be blowing my whole life up. I kept asking myself, who am I to break up a family? What kind of trauma will I cause my son? What if I'm hurting someone who's actually a really good dude? There was this voice in my head saying, you're gonna crumble. You'll never come back from this. I was moving in with my parents. I had a 6-month-old baby. I barely had any income. I didn't have a plan. I just had a knowing in my body that I couldn't stay. That if I wanted to find joy, if I wanted peace, I had to make a different choice. It didn't make sense to anyone else, not to my son's dad, not even to my parents, but my body knew. So I packed up my car with what little I had, strapped in my baby, and I started driving toward the unknown. And then, half a mile down the road, my car broke down. It was like the universe was asking me, are you sure? And I remember that moment so clearly. I looked around. I took a breath. I said, yes, I'm sure. I don't know what comes next, but I know I'm not wrong for following this truth. I called for help. I got back on the road pretty quickly, but not before that sacred pause, that moment of full body commitment to my truth. It was like life needed me to really say yes, and when I did, the path opened again. That moment taught me something I've carried ever since. When you follow the truth inside you, even when it's messy, unclear, or terrifying, you're never doing it wrong. We've been conditioned to believe that life is linear, that there's one right choice, one right path, and if you don't choose perfectly, you've failed. But healing doesn't work that way. Neither does life. Sometimes your most powerful steps forward look like breakdowns, like U-turns, like losing something or someone you thought you needed. And sometimes you'll take a step that feels guided, intuitive, brave, and then it still all falls apart. And you think, wait, did I get it wrong? Did the universe just let me down? But no, that was the lesson. That was the exact unraveling you needed in order to become more of who you truly are. The guidance wasn't wrong. It was leading you to something your mind couldn't see yet. Because the only way you could ever truly get it wrong is by abandoning yourself in the process. But here's the thing. You don't even need to see the full path to move forward. In fact, trying to plan out the next 10 steps, that's often the surest way to lose alignment. Because those plans are usually shaped by your mind, your fears, your programming, your attachments. But your soul, your body, your truth, they only need one step, just one. And when you take that small step in devotion, guided by your inner knowing, not your fear, the next step will reveal itself. That's how the path unfolds. You're not here to follow a perfectly mapped out plan. You're here to walk the living path of your truth. One breath, one step, one moment at a time. And if you're in a place of not knowing or second guessing your path, I want to offer you a practice that's helped me build trust in my own unfolding. So, find a quiet moment. Light a candle if you want to make it feel sacred. Then place one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. Take a few slow breaths. Let your body soften and ask yourself, what is the one next step I could take that feels like love? Not the next 10, just one. It might be tiny. Drinking water, stepping outside, saying no to something, making a phone call. Then write it down or speak it out loud. And when you're ready, take that one step. That's how trust is built. Not all at once, but by choosing to believe that your next right step will always be shown once you're grounded enough to hear it. And if you're ready to take this a little deeper and make bigger steps, just know that you're not alone. Maybe it's calling a marriage therapist to start addressing the big things. Maybe it's looking for a job that actually lights you up and gives you life. Or signing up for a class that brings excitement back into your life. Or texting a friend for coffee because you need something that's just yours. Or booking a solo trip your soul's been whispering about for years. You don't have to rush. But when the moment comes, your body will know. And I'll be here to walk with you. So, if you've been holding your breath, afraid to make the wrong move, let this be a reminder. You literally cannot do it wrong. Not when you're listening to your body, not when you're staying present with yourself, not when you're choosing from love, even if the path is uncertain. You don't need to know what the next 10 steps are. Just take the one that's calling to you now. And I'd love to know, what's one step you're feeling pulled toward? It can be small, it can be big, it can be unnamed and still sacred. Share it in the comments or write it in your journal. And if this message met you at the right time, I would be so honored if you like, subscribe, or share it with someone who might need it too. You're doing it. You're listening, and you're right on time. And if you want more support and reconnecting with your body and your truth, check out the free self-devotion ritual that I created. It's linked below. Until next time, just keep choosing yourself, one breath at a time.